Hey everybody, welcome to Slash Bash, where today I am bringing you another Choosing Beggar Reddit video. If you are new to the channel, then subscribe and click on notifications so you don't miss out on the fun. In our first story, a Choosing Beggar demands that the OP deliver some items to her. Our OP responds, "I am in a wheelchair." Short but effective. Let's jump right in. This happened late last year when I was doing some spring cleaning and getting rid of a bunch of art supplies, some of my artwork, and other things around the house. Old canvases, art supplies, artwork I'd done myself, etc. There was so much stuff that I decided to donate as much as I could to some daycare places in my town. After a few days, I'd gotten rid of about half of what I had, so I put them up on Facebook, free, pickup only. I got heaps of replies. A few people with kids came around and I let them pick what they wanted from the pile, but there are a few replies that are worth mentioning. One lady, who was about the 12th person to message me, asked if she could come around the next day to have a look. I said yes. The next morning she messaged me and asked if she could come later that afternoon. The Facebook message conversation went as follows. "Yeah, but I don't know what will be left by then. I've already had a few people come by and grab some things yesterday and today." "What? I thought you were going to hold things for me." "You were the 12th person to message me. Half the stuff was already gone by then. It's first come, first serve." "This is unbelievable. This was a really big opportunity for me. If I knew you wouldn't hold things for me, I would have come yesterday." "The amount of stuff that's there is so big, I can't get outside through my back door. I've already given a lot to daycares and to families with kids. I can hold what's left if you come within the next hour. But I run a small daycare. I'll be there in half an hour." An hour later, she turns up and only grabs a few things. All that tantrum for nothing. The next Choosing Beggar takes the cake. This conversation spans out within an entire day from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. She was interested in the artwork, all framed, and a pile of things that she wanted me to describe every item to her. Then came the conversation that lasted most of the day. 9:30 a.m. "Okay, I'll just get my kids ready and come around soon." "Okay." 11 a.m. "Okay, just getting them ready." 12:30 p.m. "How big are the artworks?" "No bigger than 30 by 40 centimeters. "Awesome! So I can put everything on my passenger seat." "Yeah, there's only a few left." "A few what, hun?" "Framed artwork." "Oh, I get you, sorry, lol. Hey, if I drive up your driveway, are you able to bring them to my car so I don't have to get my kids out?" I was so confused. Even if I wasn't in a wheelchair, which she didn't know, it would take me over an hour to cart everything to my driveway, and then I'd have to sit outside and watch the stuff in case someone else took them. And come on, she was getting things for free. I'm not a drive-through. I just wanted this conversation to be over, and I didn't want to make a bigger deal out of it, so I just said, "I'm in a wheelchair." "Oh, sorry. Okay, we'll get ready soon and come in." "I'll be home all day, so just come whenever." It was 2 p.m. by this point, and I continued to get a play-by-play of everything she was doing on her way to come to my place. This whole thing was so mentally draining. 3:50 p.m. "I've just got a few things to do and then I'll be on my way." 4:30 p.m. "Be there soon." 4:45 p.m. "On my way." 5 p.m. "Almost there." 5:05 "I'm here." This was as hard to write as it is to read. I just wanted this interaction to be over. A few minutes later, she came to the door and I let her in, and showed her what I had. She left her baby screaming in her car. Thinking of it now, I should have probably refused to let her in until she took her baby out of the car, as it was a hot day. Then she annoyingly slowly let her daughter pick what artwork she wanted, and in the end she took one other item out of the huge pile. It would have cost her more money to drive there than it would to buy that stuff in a store or online. A few hours after she left, I got a message from her. "If nobody takes the hair clips and the broken phone, can you please let me know? I didn't want to be greedy." Absolutely. But I had no intention of going through that ordeal again. To anyone buying things online, please, for the love of God, don't mess people around like that. Pick a date and time and leave it at that. I think most of us have had the experience where you have to sit at home waiting for somebody to come by, either to drop something off or to repair something. At least in that instance you get something out of it. So I understand the OP's frustration of having her whole day messed up in order to give away something. Story 2 gives us a message to choosing beggar influencers everywhere for when coronavirus restrictions loosen up. Dear influencer, before you send that email asking us to collab with you in return for free products to post on your social pages, please stop for a second and think. Think about the restaurateurs, food producers that have had zero income for a month, the possibility of 50% drop in revenue for the next few months. Think about the people whom you are asking for stuff for free from to boost your own profile. We are all trying to sustain our businesses through rocky waters. It's time for you to bring value to your local businesses and go order some food from your favorite places. Pay for it, post it, feel good about it. You just helped a small business. I wish that message could be burned into the brains of influencers and choosing beggars everywhere. In story 3, we have a choosing beggar who for years had been nickel and diming a civil engineer on contracts, but who then made the mistake of showing the engineer his baby. This happened to my father many years ago. So my father owned his own company, civil engineer, for 30 years and used to do work with this cheap butt builder. Every time this guy called, my father would have to negotiate and ended up charging the guy 10-year-old rates. And then, inevitably, once the job was done, this butthead would show up at the office, moaning and whining about how much the job costs, and my father would give him yet another discount. This nonsense went on for years because the guy kept showing up with new jobs because he knew that he could wear my father down and take advantage of his kindness. As you can probably guess, my father is a good man and a very patient man, and very good at his job. Well, one day, this guy pushed it too far. They just finished up another huge job, and the builder, predictably, shows up to whine about his final bill to try and get a discount. He shows up at the office and says, "Hey, Dave," not my father's real name, "I gotta talk to you about this invoice, but I want to show you my baby first." So my father goes outside and sees this show-ready, mint-condition 1963 Jaguar. The guy's gushing over the car, talking about how much money he spent restoring it, kept calling it his baby. Then he starts talking about how much money he spent on his garage to keep his baby safe. Well, after he gets done showing off his baby, he then turns to my father and starts yelling at him about how much the final invoice is. That was pretty much it. My father had enough. My father told him that the invoice is final and that he didn't want to work with him anymore. My father said, "Good luck getting work from anyone else for my current rates, let alone the generous discounts I give you on every job." 2 days later, the guy calls begging my father to do another job for him, but my dad simply told him to flip off. I was never more proud. To me, this story shows how delusional some choosing beggars can be. On one hand, not wanting to pay the value of things, on the other hand, wanting to flaunt their wealth. It's nice to see the father in the story finally standing up for himself and cutting ties with this choosing beggar. Good riddance. In story 4, a choosing beggar comes to a restaurant for the weekly special, but he loses his cool when they don't offer the right brands of beer. I think this fits in choosing beggar. I work in a restaurant that runs a weekly deal where you get a steak, a side, and a small domestic beer for dirt cheap. The beer alone works out to about $3.25, and it has to either be Coors, Bud, or the company's own blonde ale, which we are out of. To give you an idea of this guy, he wasn't present when I first approached the table because he was at the host stand getting a kids menu for his obviously teenage daughter. Then he grills me on how much the kids steak is and if it's the same cut used for the deal because the kids meal is $1 cheaper. He asks about the beers for the deal. I tell him domestics only, Bud and Coors. He says, "Never mind, bring me a root beer." As I leave, I hear his wife tell him, "We came all this way here for this deal, now you don't even want it? Stop pouting." I come back after a few minutes and he's pointing at the menu smugly. "I want the deal with company blonde because it says right here I can get that." I just sighed and said, "Yes, you could, except that we're out of it." "Oh, really? That's ridiculous. There should be a substitution then." I said, "Yeah, there is, Bud or Coors." He gets pissed, saying those are not good enough substitutes. I excuse myself to fetch the manager, who the guy has a straight-up temper tantrum at. He wanted us to give him the local IPA, which is literally twice as expensive for a keg compared to the others. The manager boots the parents out. The cherry on top? His teenage daughter had already gone outside to get away from her nutso parents, and a schizophrenic drunk guy apparently approached her and said something colorful. Beer beggar guy called the restaurant the next day, angrily blaming us for allowing that to happen. To me, the OP in this did a great job, but the manager is the hero of the story. If I work in a restaurant, I want one where the manager is happy to kick out irritating people. This is John from Slash Bash. Thanks for watching. And thanks to all my subscribers and supporters. I'm very happy to say that Slash Bash has broken through the 1,000 subscriber mark. So nice job, excellent clicking. If you haven't subscribed yet, it isn't too late. We're a big tent with room for everybody. Just hit that subscribe button. And if you want to drop a like and share it with your friends, who am I to stand in your way? And we'll see you in the next one.